Inflation is usually presented as one national number, but that number does not buy your groceries, pay your rent, fill your gas tank, or renew your car insurance. Your household has its own mix of expenses. If you rent, commute every day, and buy a lot of groceries, rising prices may hit you much harder than they hit someone who owns a home, works remotely, and rarely drives. That is why I decided to track my personal inflation rate for 90 days. Not based on headlines or on what I thought was getting more expensive, but on the transactions actually leaving my accounts. PocketGuard's own team tried a similar 90-day experiment. They found that groceries and dining out had increased noticeably, while streaming subscriptions had not moved. Inflation was not rising like one smooth wave. It was hitting specific parts of the budget. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel for more practical ways to manage your money with PocketGuard. And leave a comment. How do you track rising prices? Do you compare receipts, watch your bank balance, use a spreadsheet, or rely on a budgeting app? The first thing to understand is that the Consumer Price Index and your personal inflation rate are not the same. The CPI measures average price changes across a large basket of goods and services. It is useful for understanding the economy, but your household may spend very differently from that average. To begin my test, I needed a clean baseline. The strongest comparison is the same 90-day period from 1 year earlier. This reduces seasonal distortion. Comparing winter utility bills with summer bills, or a normal quarter with the holiday season, can create a false picture. If you do not have last year's data, compare the latest 90 days with the previous 90 days. Just remember that this shows a spending trend, not a perfect inflation rate, because your behavior may also have changed. After linking financial accounts, PocketGuard can import transactions and balances, organize purchases into categories, and generate spending insights. I reviewed my transactions and corrected anything categorized incorrectly. A supermarket purchase labeled shopping instead of groceries can distort the comparison. For merchants that appeared repeatedly, transaction rules can automatically apply the correct category in the future. Then I opened Insights and focused on groceries, dining out, transportation, utilities, insurance, and subscriptions. Here is a realistic example. During the same period last year, average monthly spending was $560 for groceries, $250 for dining out, $230 for transportation, $180 for utilities, $190 for insurance, and $65 for subscriptions. That was $1,475 per month. During the new 90-day period, the monthly averages became $620, $280, $240, $190, $210, and the same $65 for subscriptions. The new total was $1,605. That is $130 more per month, or an increase of about 8.8%. But I would not immediately call 8.8% my personal inflation rate. First, I needed to separate price changes from lifestyle changes. Maybe groceries increased because prices rose, but maybe I also started cooking at home more often. Dining out could be more expensive, or I could simply be eating out more frequently. Transportation might rise because fuel costs changed, or because I drove farther. Insurance is easier to judge. If the coverage stayed the same but the premium increased, that is a clear price increase. A subscription that stayed at the same price acts as a stable reference point. For groceries, I checked products I buy regularly. If the same weekly basket went from $92 to $101, that is roughly a 9.8% increase. For restaurants, I compared similar orders at the same places rather than mixing every dining transaction together. PocketGuard helps with this investigation. Insights shows totals by category, spending trends, individual transactions, and top merchants. Hashtags can also group related purchases across different categories. During the first month, I changed nothing. I simply observed. By the second month, patterns appeared. Groceries were consistently above the old baseline. Insurance had clearly increased. Utilities moved up and down, but the average was slightly higher. Subscriptions remained flat. By day 90, I had enough information to adjust the budget without cutting everything in sight. Well, I'll continue sharing my observations and insights in the second part, which will be released on this channel very soon.